You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. Listen, I was in the background trying to figure out if my arms still look the same. What do you guys think? Let me know. I was testing it out, and the beautiful BJ was back there laughing at me because she's the only one who can see me actually testing out if my arms still have some muscle there. All right. So I wish that, my flex look was my all the time look. I think I need to build up a little bit more so that they can just kind of pulsate without me really doing anything. But anyway, I'm so glad that you all are here. We have a very special show tonight because this is our first ever crossover show. And what do I mean by that? The crossover with FEM Talk and The Whole Living Show. So the beautiful ladies of FEM Talk are here tonight because we are going to continue the conversation about budget-friendly travel, vacations, and travel hacks. So you do not want to miss this. It's going to be fun. You know how we do. But before we get into that conversation and before I bring the ladies in, I just wanted to talk to you all about stress. Now, why do I want to talk to you about stress? Because it is something that affects everybody on a regular basis. So we want to make sure that we are able to manage it. But before I tell you how to manage it, you're going to have to stay tuned and wait for how to manage it a little bit later. What we're going to talk about right now is the causes of stress. When those cortisol levels get too high, what happens? Well, it can change your mood, right? We don't want that to happen, right? We want to be in good mood and good spirits. It can increase your blood pressure. It can cause weight gain. You may have trouble sleeping. There may be some muscle tension. You may notice an increase in your appetite, or you are ready to go for the fat and sugary foods because you are having cravings because the cortisol levels are high. Or, and wait for this one, it may cause problems with your libido. Woo! Now, we don't want that to happen, right? We want to keep our significant others satisfied and happy. So we want to make sure that we are managing stress on a regular basis. And there are things that you can do daily that are going to allow you to manage stress, keep your cortisol levels down. It does not mean that the cortisol levels won't rise and fall a little bit, but you just want the little bit. You don't want the high cortisol levels to increase too high, and you don't want to initially just cause all of these issues because of stress. You can manage stress every single day. So I want you to stay tuned to the end of the show so that you can make sure that you are understanding how to manage your stress on a regular basis. So now I want you to give the beautiful ladies of FEM Talk a virtual round of applause because we are going to get into this conversation and have just as much fun on the Whole Living Show as we do on FEM Talk. Here we go. We have the beautiful Dr. Melissa Simmons.
Hello.
The beautiful Shima Shishi Talks. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
living livers.
Welcome to the Whole Living Show, ladies. I appreciate you being here. This is our first ever crossover, but I'm going to say that it will not be our last, right? Because the audience just loves to see us all.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that we do this more often. All right. Oh, and thank you, Dr. Melissa, for that. for that comment.
Oh,
I appreciate that. You know, I got to make sure I keep these guns up.
That's right.
So I was laughing at myself in the background too, and I saw BJ laughing because I was just testing it out. Like, do my arms look the same? But I started off talking about stress because, I've had some stressful days going on here lately. If most of you don't know, I am a health coach, but I am also an accountant working in private equity. And, it's reporting time. So we have a lot going on in the finance area. Yeah. Right. Exactly. But, here we go. But I do things that I'm going to mention to you later to manage the stress. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, everybody, we're going to get into this travel conversation. If you missed FEM Talk last night, we were giving you travel hacks. Shima showed you, and Melissa showed you, Dr. Melissa showed you things that you can use to pack your life well as you journey out to another destination outside of your home state and city. Well, we want to talk a little bit more about, yes, and I love that little sparkling, yes. So one of the things that Shima showed last night, and I want you to go through, Shima. You may have to put your glasses on again tonight. Everything that little pack has in it. This is amazing. Absolutely. Little pack, so small, but there are, I think you said last night, 17 items that are in this package. This very small, sparkling package that you can take with you on a trip that will give you everything you need for your vacation. Yes.
We shared this power pack talk. It's pink. Y'all heard what the Whole Living lady said? That's her favorite color.
Yes, it is.
We shared this with FEM Talkers last night. So Whole Living watchers, I'm going to give you a big tip today. You guys don't know us. We're not usually on this show, but on FEM Talk, I don't like to wear glasses. So I got to put my spectacles on so I can read to you the 17 essentials in this tiny little case.
17.
Band-aids. Safety pins. Earring backs.
Wow.
Deodorant toilets. Tissues. Nail polish pad removers. Stain remover. Clear elastics, like the Band-aids. Lip balm. A tampon, if you're a woman. Emery boards. Hairspray. Clear nail polish, dental floss, an entire sewing kit with the needle, maybe an extra button, and some string. Breath freshener, double-sided tape, and pain reliever.
Wow. I love that. And you know what I missed last night? The earring backs.
The earring backs.
I missed that last night. That is so key.
Don't you always?
You
always lose one on the trip. I always lose the earring back.
Taking your shirt off or something, right?
Right. Exactly. And certain earrings, you just can't even use it if you don't have the back. So I love that.
I do too.
Tiny are these cute little things in here, and they're so roomy. And Coach Tracy asked yesterday, "Oh my God, it's cute coming out. Can it go back in?"
Yeah.
So much room in there.
Wow. Did you put the QR code for that one? We need
I
to.
was trying to make sure it wasn't like stuffing clowns in a little car, right?
Well, it kind of is, but it will be able to go back in. I just think it's so amazing. It's so cute. It has, well, that's the tampon. Yeah, somebody might need it.
100.
I do.
Breath freshener. I think
love
everyone needs it. Oh, there's the kit. Yesterday, I could not find the kit, ladies and gentlemen. Today, that is the kit. With buttons.
With the needle already threaded.
And the needle already threaded. Look at you.
Now.
Got a good eye, Dr. Mimi. You wear your glasses.
I know what color you need.
It's several. There's the gray, there's a red, there's a white, and a black.
Yeah. Right. But what did they thread the needle with?
Oh. Now, see.
The black. Tell me it's the black.
It's the white one.
Okay.
It's the
I was just checking, I just wanted to make sure.
Because in my mind, I'm like, that's probably a button-down shirt. But yeah, so essential, so compact. Like I said last night, for those watchers, this can easily be squeezed into your purse if you carry one, your backpack if you carry one, or if you don't want to put it in your carry-on luggage, stick it in your shoe. There's so much room in your shoes.
I love that idea.
There. The shoe right in there. Yep.
I love
and
it.
I will share the QR code or the link on the Whole Living page as well.
Oh, good. I love it. I love it. And this makes for a perfect gift too, everyone.
It really does.
If you're looking for little gifts to give away to people, that makes for a perfect gift. And it comes in a little cute package too.
Absolutely.
Love.
Yes.
Love.
So I want to get into because we've talked about, right, about going on road trips. So I want to talk about those road trips. I want to talk about the destinations, but I also want Dr. Melissa to go through some of the games that are played on the road trips where you can have fun while you are heading to your destination on the road.
Awesome. But Coach Tracy, you was just talking about stress.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I learned is that the greatest stress reliever is to get out and get on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Atmosphere, I'm a big believer when things are not going right in your household, in your relationship, change the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So you just jump in the car and get it. And then once you get in the car, what are you going to do? So when I tell you, we had growing up with the kids, we've had some of the best car rides ever. Yes. I remember once we stopped, we was going to Virginia. You know that long bridge that crosses
Chesapeake Bay.
Right.
Chesapeake Bay.
Chesapeake Bay Bridge. We stopped in the middle and we took a bunch of pictures. We was all doing these signs and
were
pictures.
You swaying back and forth?
Yeah, I mean it was so much fun. So so on the way, stop. On the way, if you see something, stop. Because the road trip, there's no real good time you have to get there. So just if you need to call the hotel, tell them what time you're gonna arrive. Do that. Definitely do that because hotels are famous to give your room away.
Mm-hmm.
After a certain hour. Mm-hmm. So do that. But some fun games and actually, one of the road trips we took recently, I took it with my bestie and her husband. So it was a couples road trip. Ding, ding, ding. That's another fun road trip. Is couples road trip. And we played this game. It's called Uncommon Questions for Fresh Conversations for Couples. Ding,
I love it.
When I tell you that this was so much fun, like just quick questions like, what is something you anticipate will be invented in the next 15 years that you look forward to? Interesting, right? So it quickly takes you to some quick questions and it's just fun. There's another one. What is something that always makes you laugh out loud? And it is the best kind of conversations because then everybody starts talking, everybody starts laughing. So, I mean, we went through this card and we had a ball. very similar to that, and they sell. You could get all of these on Amazon.
Yes, and we will mention that name. We will right here.
Yep. This is another one. This is called Tabletop Questions, and this one is for couples. They have one for families. Mm-hmm. They have one for general, but this one, again, another one for couples. Another question in this one: if you lived during Gold Rush, would you have journeyed west to strike it rich? Interesting. Would you have? So again, nice question.
That would have been worth getting on the road for.
Right.
I went out there and see what I can find.
Just real random. And that's what I love about it. Okay, look, this one, random. What's the hardest thing you've ever done? I should post that question.
Yeah, let's post that question. I love that question.
Right? So these are just great games. I mean, conversations. You get a glass of wine. You sit around
You got a glass of wine.
Not the driver.
Okay.
Right. Well, I'm saying sit around. You may have a stop on the
road.
You're
gonna have to just ride and not
out of the road. Stop.
Let's do a quick PSA here. When you are driving, do not have the glass of wine.
Not while the driver is driving.
Here. But your other half, your amazing other half says, we always start our trips with a song. So I love that. Talk about the songs we used to sing on the road.
Oh, everything. We're a big Kirk Franklin family. So we get Kirk Franklin going. Since he's on the phone, on the call, I'm going to shout him out. One day he took this song and sang it for us. We had to stop the car because we was peeing in our pants after he finished singing. But it was the...
Can I get a witness, right?
I get a witness. I mean, we do, and that's actually a fun game. It doesn't take much, so we do American Idol in the car.
Yes,
Idol, and we have categories. So we do Disney. We'll do the best love songs. We'll do show songs. So my kids love Broadway. So we'll do Broadway.
Okay. So when is the next road trip? And we all have to get on the road. So I know that the two of you just drove to North Carolina. So I think there needs to be another North Carolina drive. And then we need to go from here to somewhere else.
That's right. I'm feeling it. And so much fun
along the way.
That's right.
That's right. We're going to start in Jersey and head on down and pick up everybody along the way.
Yes. Jennifer says, don't do it.
She said, we have fun. We have fun.
Well, I'll tell you right now, just be warned, everybody, when you get in the car with me, we have to sing Michael Jackson. You got to do Michael Jackson.
The bestie must know about that one.
Not Janet, Michael.
And it's not mutual. It's you don't have a choice.
Yes.
I love it.
She slips it in on you. You be listening to something else next thing you know. Wait a minute. Well, who put Michael on? She over there.
Michael on
with playlist.
It's no good road trip without a good Michael Jackson song.
Yes.
Let me tell you, you guys touched on two areas: the songs and of course the games, and then the songs. I have another travel friend who plays a very competitive game, and I'm saying this with emphasis because you pick a word. Your song has to have that word in it.
Yes,
you have to sing it. And she is the biggest cheater ever. But she will tell you, I never lose because she cheats. Dr. D, I'm telling you about it. But it's so much fun. You think about sunshine, and then you got to say, I got sunshine. So, and then somebody else. Now you sing your song, but you got like 2 seconds for the next person to sing their song. Any hesitation past like 5 seconds, and you're out.
I want to
do
that.
Many fun options. This I got to talk about the whole living lady. She made up this horrible game. Didn't pick it up. It's a game that all of you know if you're of a certain age, and it's called Punch Buggy.
Well, oh yes, if you see a punch buggy on the road, there you go.
Well, you might want to be told that you're playing the game first. And then you might want to use a car that you know about.
Well, I change it up. I change the cars. So
up.
it's like punch buggy BMW, or you know what I mean? Like we switch it up. We switch it
Now,
up because you don't see many buggies on the road anymore.
Exactly. You're
So
right.
you got to switch it up.
I
But
wish I had
I'm
some
going to tell
help.
on somebody.
Uh-oh.
I got to tell on somebody. And Shima knows about this.
Oh,
She
okay.
Talks knows about this. But we used to take bus trips, and I think I mentioned this on FEM Talk. We used to take these bus trips, and it was all of us, our family, extended family, like church family. We used to go on these road trips to the South, to amusement parks, and pack up the food and all that good stuff. But the kids used to play games, and my god brother, he was being abusive. I'm just gonna put it out there. And they used to play this game called Knuckles, and it was a card game. And I don't even remember all of the rules to
and
it.
you would hit the
You have to hit the knuckles, right? So if you don't get the cards right, you get your knuckles tore up, right? So because I have this will, this Aries will, I'm gonna say, because of my zodiac sign, I got this will, and I was like, I'm gonna play this game with the guys because I always felt like, you know what, I can handle it. And he kept saying, I'm gonna make you cry. Well, I have to say that you guys would have been proud of me. I did not cry, but he made my knuckles bleed. Ooh. And we were in the back, so the parents didn't even know what was going on. But I didn't cry, so nobody would have known. But I'm telling on my god brother here, Neil Evans. I'm even going to put his name out there. Neil Evans, you are out there. I put you on blast. I put you on blast.
Your name.
You tore your little cousin's knuckles up. So your god sister knuckles up. So yes, Jennifer, Aries. I'm a strong-willed Aries woman.
Bad cousin. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. But similar to that, I don't know about playing those knuckles. I remember it. That was like in camp. We used to play that, and I should not want to play that game. But very similar to the song game is almost like a versus game where you pick a artist. Say you take Beyonce, say you take Michael Jackson, and you have to keep on going with songs and name their songs. And the same thing, if you hesitate, the first person to hesitate loses.
You're out. That's right.
And you pick like, kind of obscure, those are easy ones, but take Brandy's songs, you know what I'm saying? Those that you may not know, those kind of things. So it becomes real fun. But again, there's so many different games to play. Absolutely. And, for a 5-hour ride, 10-hour ride, it's just boom, boom, boom. And it's
I love it. And, they're doing the verses on the radios now, right?
Exactly.
Where they're
so
doing
you can have your own verses. That's right.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love it.
And don't forget the kiddies, because I think about, sometimes you have little games, sometimes they can play those games. But if you have children or younger people in the car, the I Spy game is amazing no matter where you are, in the airport, on the train, the bus, in the car, at the rest stop. So they're constantly looking for something to do when they're not driving you bananas.
Yeah. And what's happening now too, I know the teenagers now are doing the would you rather. Would you rather do this or that? And now I've started to hear it on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Yeah.
So it's catching on now.
His is a little interesting, the ones he would you rather. But
might be the adult version, but
it definitely is.
But again, this stuff, and I think to your point, Coach Tracy, and talking about whole living, that's how you live. That's life. That's happiness. That's enjoying the moment. One of the things I started doing, and I not created, but I always use the hashtag creating memories. That's what we remember. The kids don't remember if you had a bunch of money. They don't remember if they, what you bought them. They couldn't even tell you what they got at Christmas, but they could surely tell you about that road trip when we went to Virginia, or that road trip when we went upstate. They could tell you those things because they remember the memories, the laughter, the joy, So that's it, creating memories. And I love that hashtag because people, that's where you talk about the endorphins, you release the joy, you release that into your body. and that stomach ache you might have had before you left because of work or because of school, you get on that road, you start laughing, it goes away.
Reduce that stress. Here goes the stress.
That's right.
Down. So I want to talk about the destinations, right? You just mentioned Virginia, but let's talk about, where those road trips took us in the past, and even talk about some of the road trips that you want to take in your future.
Oh my God. My parents were road warriors. So, and then we didn't have a whole lot of money. I didn't know that as a kid. When we didn't have a whole lot of money, I felt like we did. We went places and did things. What do you mean we don't have money? But my dad was an avid driver, and so was my mom. So, so we went everywhere. We've driven to Canada. My mother is from Savannah, Georgia. So mind you, whole living, we are in New Jersey. I speak from New Jersey. So we drove to Savannah, Georgia. The best trips. That one, what'd you say?
I said, that's a long drive.
That's a long drive. But the best, I guess, because it was a good drive and it was a road trip in the car. And like you said, Tracy, you have all this yummy fried chicken and sandwiches and potato salads and boiled eggs and all that good stuff. We would always stop where we could or needed to, but always stop at the south of the border.
Yes.
It let us know we were halfway where we needed to be. And it gave you that break, because back in the day, even if you didn't buy a whole lot of stuff, you could always get something like really cute and like trinket wise, the big huge pencils with the big eraser, and they were like a foot long. You get a good, snack or whatever, and some information. It was so much. It was like kind of, I don't want to say educational, but it really was. It was educational because it talked about the Mason-Dixon line. It talked about the equator sometimes. A lot of fun facts that I remember from those stops. So, that was what, 12 to 15 hour drive, depending on how you drive. I'm not going to tell you how fast I drove it, but you can get there 12 to 15 hours if you're good.
Absolutely. And I would even say, right, that those trips and those stops and the things that you learn along the way are facts that you retain more so than when you get it from a textbook at school, right? Because you're creating fond memories that are embedded in your brain. You absorb it more, right? So those experiential learning journeys that you take are more effective when it comes to the educational stuff. So so talk about your destinations. I know for me, a big one, because my father was originally from Virginia. His family was originally from Virginia. So that was a big deal for us. We always went to Virginia every year for the summer. Virginia Beach was a big one for us. It's why I chose to go to Norfolk State University, because I fell in love with Virginia and Virginia Beach. But that was it. That was our biggest road trip, besides going to like South Carolina, where my mom's family was from as well. So talk about some of those places that you went, Dr. Melissa.
The kids, Florida was our go-to destination. And I know that is an 18-hour road trip. Now, the trick is, now for those saying, how do you do that? The trick, we learned the trick. The trick is, again, all the food in the car, all the drinks in the car. And if they're really young, you can be the potty, you be the porta potty with you.
That's right.
In the back of the van. But the trick is you leave around 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So you drive while they're all sleeping at night.
Right. That's right.
So by the time they wake up, you would have gotten almost half the trip done, if not more. Then you stop for breakfast. You let the drivers rest up a little bit. Then you get back on the road. By 4 o'clock, you're right there in Disney. So that was a trick. So they never knew how long the trip took because they were asleep. It's nighttime sleep. So we brought the pillows in there. So that was it. We had to do that. I am not exaggerating. It must be 10 years in a row, 15 years. It was like the trip to go to because there's so much to do in Disney. As we got older, we, like you, we did the Virginia Beach. We did the Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is beautiful.
Yes. That was a big one too.
But the newest ones we did is we went north. A lot of people don't go north. we've gone north, and that was more of a couples, like Lamont and I, and my bestie and her husband went. We went to the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes are phenomenal, and there's so many things. We literally stopped on the road. We was driving by one of the lakes. Lamont stopped. I said, "Stop, Lamont." I got out. He said, "I know exactly what to do," and I jumped into the lake. I jumped right into the lake because the lake is the water is you can see right through the water, so it's not dirty. It's beautiful blue water. It's just phenomenal, and they have wineries all up and down the Finger Lake. So if you're into wineries, you can stop at, no exaggeration, 10 in a day. Yes. That's how many wineries they have up there. Every time every so many miles, there's another winery. So you get the wineries, Niagara Falls. There you go. Right, adult grape juice. Both the Canadian side and the New York side. A lot of people don't know there's two different sides. Honestly, the most beautiful side is the New York side. People don't know that. New York has a beautiful park attached to the Niagara Falls, where on the Canadian side, they don't have a park. You have to just go where the mouth of the falls are. That's how you see it on the Canadian side. But on the New York side is a whole park up there. It is absolutely beautiful. And there's amenities you could participate in. I will recommend that. That's probably one of my top 10 trips ever.
Nice. I love that. So you heard it here first, everybody, from Dr. Melissa, Finger Lakes. And I've never been there. So I think that sounds like a trip that we need to go on. Up to the Finger Lakes, everybody. Here we go. Anybody want to join Fem Talk and the Whole Living Show on the road trip, just let us know.
And Tracy, they have organic wines up there, so it's very it's very whole living friendly.
I love it. I love it. I love it even more now. So listen, everybody, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the future destinations. So we would like for you to put in the comments where you want to go on a road trip here in the United States, or if you are in another country, where you want to go in your country on a road trip. And we'll be right back. All right, everybody. Yes, putting on my lip gloss. I was moistening my lips. But I just wanted to point out that commercial because we support the Trajectory TV show host, and Dano is another show host right here on Trajectory. And I love that young man. He's an exceptional young man, and he's young, right? But he's exceptional. His show is great, so make sure that you catch him on Thursday night. And in the words of Dano, let's go, ladies. So we're going to talk about the second half of this show and where we want to go on future trips. So where do you think you would like to take your future road trip right here in the United States? You're on mute. She was talking on mute. We want to hear you.
Because I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk about driving. It is still a road trip. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine did, I believe it was 7 to 10 states on the train. Mm-hmm. It was like a gourmet tour kind of thing. And they stayed in the hotel maybe 3 to 4 times out of that stay. I believe it was like 3 weeks on the road, 2 or 3 weeks on the road. And even had gourmet food, like certain places on the train, full on dinner. You know, you can get a cabin very small cabin, or you can get a reclining chair. Most people in that trip get their own little. I don't think it's called a cabin, but you sleep there. There's a curtain or a door, so it's something like the cabins. I think that is, and that's not an actual place destination because I get to see so many things. But he went from East Coast to West Coast and back.
I love it.
I would love that. I have been on the train before, so that view is amazing. Just seeing the countryside is absolutely amazing. So I think
I would love that.
Yes.
To not drive and to be able to get on a train and
Not
just
drive.
take all the scenery in as you go across the country. That would be amazing. So I know our brother here, Lamont, says the Pacific Northwest. So you and Dr. Melissa can get on the train and see the scenery and not have to drive, for 5 days to the Northwest. You can do that via the train and then stop at your destination that you want to go to and then take the train back. That would be amazing.
They have it's a very popular train route that people get on, and you can get on in Washington, Oregon, and go right down the coast. I think it's somewhere, and I have the book inside because we've been looking at it. So we've been planning this out. So we're gonna fly probably into Washington State. And then from there, see Seattle, and then take the train down on the Pacific coastline. So that is our one of the destinations that we're trying to do. The other one is the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. I want to really go to the Smoky Mountains. I want to see what that's all about. But for truth be told, I have one coming up in 2 weeks, and we're flying out. We're going to Texas. And I'm going to one of my Shiro's city, which is we're going to Magnolia Farms. No. And we're going to see Joanna Gaines. Yes. Magnolia and all of those things out in Waco, Texas. And again, and what I love about that whole thing that they did out there, Waco was always known for that thing that happened years ago. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Right. But they have brought back the Chip and Joanna, and we are going to see our peeps. And in going out there, just driving from where they are in Texas, shaking my head. But he's gonna love it. He's gonna love it because we're gonna go antiquing the whole thing. But I'm just excited to go out there and see it as, we the reviews of people going to Waco are like all 4 stars and 5 stars. So it seems to be a trip to really enjoy. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to drive, we're flying into Texas, then we're going to drive to Waco.
I love that. Well, tell Chip and Joanna hello. From all of their
from the whole living show and FEM Talk. I'll give them our greetings.
Yes, absolutely. And they can put us on the Magnolia channel.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
A lot of how we
I love it. I think say that again, Shima.
A lot of how I saw cities and states in the West Coast was that way. Fly into a city that we're talking about traveling. They fly into a city that's not expensive, rent a car, and drive to those points. Pick a point that's close that so you don't have to drive for 8 to 10 hours. Maybe if you drive 2 to 4 hours, you'll be in the next state. Hit another spot that you've never been to. It's amazing. The countryside alone is amazing when you're on the road trips. So you gotta get out there.
You got it. Funny you say that. We drove 2 years ago. No, 2017, 18. I think it was right before the pandemic. We flew out to Las Vegas, rented a car, and drove to Sedona, Arizona. And then from Sedona, when we stayed, we had that's where we got our hotel. So from Sedona, we went to the Red Rocks of Sedona, which is absolutely, talk about, Tracy, another place that really does hone in on self-care, on mindfulness, on, it's all about getting in tune with the earth and yourself and feeling that oneness. And it's real. It's real. I remember one of those places, and you could feel the energy. I mean, literally, it was tangible, the energy on those red rocks. Some people, their hair stands up. I mean, it is tangible, the energy on those red rocks. So talk about another place where you get like really get in tune with who you are. That it's all of that.
Yeah, you're gonna make me look up now what the rating is, because there are energy ratings for different places.
I will guarantee those
I'm gonna
are some
look
of the
that up.
higher ones. And you know, because we get there and you kind of like, yeah, okay, that's a lot of fluff until you get to this mountain, and then you're standing on there, and I'm like, and we're all looking at each other. Okay, do we all feel what we're feeling? And you feel it. You feel it. And the experience is when I tell you the every morning waking up. It didn't matter what the weather was. It is one of the it is for the United States. It has to be one of the top 10 destinations in terms of beauty. It is gorgeous. And then from there we went to the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon. Can I say anything else? It is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it lives up to the hype. Even from there, so take this. We went to Vegas, then we drove to drove into Arizona. We went to 3 different trips. So we went to Sedona, we went to the Grand Canyon, and then we went to Antelope Canyon. Antelope Canyon is one of the, when you see pictures of the red mountains that are wavy, it's the canyons. It's not Grand Canyon. It's the canyons that are owned by, they are all on private land owned by the Indian tribe.
The Indians, on the Indian reservation.
That's right. It's on the reservation. So you just can't go there. So you have to get, you have to go on one of their tours. They have to bring you in to their to the canyons, and then they escort you through. It is once again one of the, so talk about wonders of the world. If you go through those canyons, it is absolutely phenomenal. And
now
again,
I understand.
Was driven from one location.
Yeah, now I understand why the energy is so high, right? Because the reservations are known to be sacred land, right? And there's a lot of spiritual, what do I want to say here? Just like spiritual ceremonies, right? I will say, or spiritual coverings that happen on their land. Right. So now I understand why the energy is so high, just because of the sacred land that it all sits on. That's definitely a place where I want to go. And then Arizona too. Now they have all of the spas. Some of the best spas in the world are in that Arizona area. And for that reason,
you didn't even get there. So that's definitely somewhere to go back to. But you're right. At one and they're so in tune. The owners of the land, our brothers and sisters out there on the reservation, and this one, our tour guide, he actually took out his flute and actually played his flute in the canyon. When I tell you, that was something I would never forget. It was, and then the talk about the spirituality of it and the whole thing that happened just with him doing that. It's one of those things you just never forget. And again, going back to, living this life and living it with intention and whole living. That's what whole living is about to me, is experiencing God and his greatness.
Right.
And that's what it is. You see who God is. There's no one else that could have done these things except him.
So, thank you for saying that, because that's something that I always say, even just walking outside, right? When you're just even in your own neighborhood. Like, I started to appreciate this a lot more during COVID, right? And during the pandemic, because you had to look out on what was around you, because you didn't have the interaction with people as much anymore. So my interaction was with nature, to get outside, to take the walks, to soak it all in. And I started to appreciate more. And I was saying during that time period, I'm like, the grass looks greener, the flowers are more in bloom. And, maybe part of that was probably because we weren't creating so much pollution and damage to our earth, because people had to sit still. But the other part is just being able to really look at it and appreciate it, because, that's what we had to do in that moment. And I just thought, like, wow, just what God has created here is absolutely amazing. Like, you can't put anything else on it, but like, look what God did for us, right? To live here and to survive and thrive on. So I absolutely love that. So I want to give you guys some final words before we close it out, because we've got like maybe 6 minutes here. And I just want you guys to talk a little bit more about, something special for the two of you when it comes to, traveling?
Well, since we were talking about budget, we talked about budget hacks. We talked about road trips as opposed to flying. The best, in my mind, the best vacation is a vacation from, like you said, stress, from the day to day, the mundane, the busyness, just the craziness of life. So and then we got to think when we say budget, we're not talking about, I have $100 or I have $500. We're talking about all of it. I have $10 or I don't have enough money to get on the train. I don't drive a car. This mind, I'm telling you, because it's already set on travel, you can create a travel mindset. You could create a vacation out of so many things. Get up really early on a Saturday. You don't have any money to go away? Really early on a Saturday, pack your lunch. Same stuff you'd eat in the house. Pack it. Put it in a bag like you're going somewhere. Take the kids. If you don't have kids, go by yourself. If you don't have a significant other, still go by yourself. Go in the park. Go to one of your nearby parks or go on a nearby park with a mountain. Some cities have great parks in the mountains. Go up there and spend the day. Take all the same essentials that you would take home. Charge up your phone. Charge up your portable speaker if that's what you have. Take your earbuds. Bring a book. Anything that you would do in the house because you don't have the money to go away. Go and do it in the park. Go and do it near some water. Go in downtown and people watch. I find myself going away, drifting off when I watch other people do certain things in their lives. It gives you time to think. It refreshes your mind and it changes your mindset.
Yeah, I love that. And we actually found a place right here in South Carolina, very close because I'm close to the South Carolina border. And it's water, basically. That's all it is. There's beautiful homes along the water. It's a lot of water, but it's a little park, right? It doesn't have much except like beautiful walkways. And you can actually grill out there. There's some tables out there and you can go out there and grill. So like Shima was saying, pack your food, take it to an area that's close to you, enjoy nature and what God has given us, right? Absolutely. It's serene, it's peaceful, it helps to reduce your stress, as we've been talking about stress on this show as well. And you're doing something different and new. So Dr. Melissa, I want to give you an opportunity before we have to close it out.
Sure. Raising 3 children, being married, and having all the bills that comes with that. We never had a lot of money. My son and daughter were just talking about, they swore they were rich when they were growing up. And one of the things Lamar and I committed to is every year is going to take our kids on vacation.
That's right.
We never had a lot of money. Let me say that again and again and again. We never had a lot of money. But every year we would commit to that. And if it wasn't, timeshares used to be a big a way to do that. Doing those timeshare tours, for $99 3 days.
That's right.
2-hour tour. We did those things, but that's how we got there. That's why we went to Florida all the time. That's how we got. And again, then you get into these big resort looking places. My kids, we were never in, nothing wrong with hotels, but we were not in hotels. We were in condos. Every trip we was in this big old beautiful condo, and the condos got better and better. And I'm grateful to God because that's what we would do. We'd pray about it. And God would open the door. I mean, it wasn't, every once in a while we'll have like a cousin or a brother or an auntie call us, hey, I got an extra week. You want it? Yep, we'll take it. It was those kind of things that would come up. So I think be very, pray about it. Be very intentional about what you're going to do on your trips. Totally. I totally agree with Shima. We're on the East Coast. We live in New Jersey, New York, all of these, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, the tri-state area, Connecticut. There's so many things to see. Patterson Falls. Everybody hears about Patterson and they go, yeah, right. Take a trip to the Patterson Falls.
And walk them. You are
walk it. In New Jersey, one night, it was a Saturday. I said, come on, let's go to the city. We went into the city. We took the New York City bus tour. It was we went on Groupon. We got it for $15 each. So we got it cheap. Again, Groupon, another way to get stuff. And we took the 2-hour tour around New York. I was born and raised in New York, but now taking the tour of New York was totally different.
So different.
There's so many different ways to the beach. I saw Jen Simmons. Hey, Jen. Talk about the beaches. We're in Delaware, we're in New Jersey, we're on the East Coast with the best beaches in the world.
Yeah.
My bestie used to live by the beach. I would pack up my bag. I would coming over, and we'd be by her house on the weekend. We get up real early. We pack the cooler, and we go sit on the beach. And
I love it.
Had a weekend at the beach. Those are the things to do, and I think you have to be, to your point, to both what you're saying, is intentional. Be prayerful. It's not about having a bunch of money. It's about being intentional, about enjoying life.
Absolutely. And I want to say too, to add to that is, plan for it. Maybe it doesn't happen this year. Maybe you do the smaller road trips that are very close to home, like Dr. Melissa was just talking about, somewhere in your area. But then if you want to do something different and you want to go a little bit further for the next year, plan for that, right? There's nothing wrong with taking pieces of money, however big or small, that works for your budget, and put it aside and plan for that trip. And I want to say something really quickly too, before we go into how to manage stress, is those timeshare deals, right? I went to Hawaii on a timeshare deal where we had to go listen for an hour, and I wasn't interested in purchasing anything, but I got a Hawaii trip for $600, stayed in one of the best condos out there, had the best time. My son loved it. His cousins loved it. We had an amazing time. So I just want to say that sometimes that works. And if that's what you need to do it. You can listen for an hour. You don't, and don't feel pressured to buy anything. So we're going to go, these ladies, we're going to definitely have you back and do another crossover on a different subject, because this was amazing and it was fun. So stay tuned, everybody. Really quickly, we're going to talk about how you manage stress. All right. So we're going to get into this. So as you've heard, we've been talking about travel all night. So it behooves me to say one of the biggest ways for you to manage stress is get out of your current environment, go somewhere different. When you start to look at other places, you change your perspective on life when you can break away from your environment. So that is one of the biggest ways that you can manage stress. And like we said to you tonight, it doesn't have to be anywhere far. It can be right in your area, but change your perspective a little bit, change your environment, change your surroundings, and watch the stress levels start to decrease. The other items that I wanted to mention to you that you can use to mitigate your stress each and every day. The first one is to meditate. Meditation is so underrated. If you can really get into meditation, it will bring those stress levels down so quickly. And I'm going to give you a quick story, and my friends have already heard this, but when I was going through cancer and doing that journey, the hospital actually offered meditation. And I had never done meditation before that. And I get in there, and the lady's voice, it was supposed to be soothing, but it made me laugh. It still brought my stress levels down because it made me laugh, because she was there saying, free your mind. And it just sounded so funny to me. And I just cracked up laughing. So my stress levels were reduced, but I've learned how to meditate on my own. So make sure that you're doing your meditation. Laughter is very healing. The next one is breathe. And you heard me talk about this last week when I was talking about doing your physical spring cleaning. Well, breathing is very effective too in bringing your cortisol levels down. You want to make sure that you do some breathing techniques, or just take some deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, exhale it out through your mouth, hold it for a little bit. There are different methods. There's the 4-7-8 method, where you take it in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 7, and you release it for 8. If you can't do it for that long, you do it for shorter intervals, but make sure that you're breathing. Something, again, that I learned how to do after having cancer. So a lot of these things I didn't do before. The next one is journaling. Sometimes you need to just get your thoughts out of your head and onto a piece of paper. So continue to just write things down as they come to you. Start to write them down. Even if they're things that are frustrating you, write them down. Get them out of your head and on a piece of paper so that you can reduce those stress levels there as well. It helps you to release whatever you're feeling. So write those things down. And one of my favorite things to do, whether I'm home or away, is I absolutely love sunshine. So I'm going to tell you to get out and get some sunshine. And sunshine is quite healing, scientifically proven with the vitamin D that goes with it. But get out and get some sunshine. It makes you happy. If you've ever noticed people's moods, in areas where there's more winter than there is summer, and then the summer comes and those moods start to change, it's because of the sunshine. So get out and get some sunshine somewhere, whether you're away or at home. And then you guys know one of my favorites, physical activity helps to reduce your stress. So if it's taking a walk or if it's actually doing some type of exercise routine, get your exercise on, get moving, walk, jog, do some squats, whatever that is that you like to do to get some physical activity. And I would say if you're a swimmer, if you like to skate, whatever that is, get out, do it, reduce the stress. And then the last one, which we talked about at the top a little bit when I was telling that story about the meditation, is laughter. One of my favorite things to do is to laugh as well. So do something that makes you chuckle or makes you get a really hearty laugh. So these are the 6 things that you can do to mitigate your stress. Actually 7 if we include the vacations, but mitigate your stress, everyone. So I thank you all for being here on the Whole Living Show. It has been great to have the ladies from FEM Talk here. Thank you for those who have participated in the conversation. We appreciate you. And I hope that you come back next week right here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Whole Living Show. I'll see you then. Take care.